Exclamation, everybody, and welcome back to the LiveCraftMine server. Guess what we're doing today? Yes, we're doing a caving episode today. Everybody's favorite. I am in desperate need of resources. I am an iron fiend. These hoppers do not make themselves, my friend. They do not make themselves. They have a fever, and it can only be cured with more iron. Hence why I am in this cave, this nice expansive cave that I have found along the way. I'm about, let's say, half a day-ish or so from the valley that we are calling Middle Earth. So not too far away, but far enough that it's caves that I have not touched already. There's lots and lots of ravines around and under the valley. So, and I've lit up pretty much all of them at this point. Lots and lots of lava though, so that's also rather good, given that I'm building a lava smeltery. I've made a little bit of progress on that. Not a whole lot. Biggest thing that's holding me up is the hoppers, as it has been for quite some time. I'm getting kind of low on the iron. I'm also finding that I'm getting really crappy enchants. Like this pick here, Unbreaking 2. Yeah, it's not bad. I have a fortune pick back at the base, but it's almost done for. And I'm not getting a whole lot of levels either from things. So I don't have the appropriate levels necessary to combine that with this one and get an awesome pick out of it. So it's I'm trying to also collect as much coal and stuff as I can, because even though I don't need coal, Lord knows I don't need any more coal, I do need the levels, and I haven't been using any mob grinders really. I mean, I do have the one mob grinder that I've made, but I haven't actually been using it. So it's I probably should go to the end at some point and see if the guys on the server have made an ender farm. I don't even know. I haven't been back to the end since we fought the dragon, so I have no idea what has shaped up out there. But as usual, since this is a caving episode, I'm going to turn it into a technical caving episode, at least for a little bit. I don't have a whole lot to talk about as far as technical goes, although every time I say that, I end up having a ton of things to talk about. But I figure, I should note here, before we fall down there, we are now on the server, we are in 1.8 pre-release 1 is the version that's on the server. And somewhere along the way, if I go into my menu here, we'll notice that under video settings, there's now a use VBOs, and I've got it turned on. And let me tell you, it makes a big difference if you have the horsepower for it. And I'm sure a lot of people will look at that and go, I have no idea what that means. And it defaults to off for the maximum compatibility with everybody, because it's really only useful if you have the horsepower to deal with it. Namely, you have a very good graphics card, graphics processor, that kind of thing. So, what exactly does it mean, though? So, in order to explain, I have to sort of explain a little bit around it. So, first of all, Minecraft is built in OpenGL. Now, what is OpenGL? It's basically a open source, maintained by the community. I guess the best way to say it is library. It's a programming library. It's not really a driver, although a lot of people will refer to it as a driver, but it's really not. The drivers are the things that actually drive hardware. OpenGL doesn't drive the hardware. It just gives you a programming interface, or gives programmers a programming interface to the drivers. Now, you're probably wondering, well, why is that? I mean, if you're writing code, you should be able to talk to the driver, or talk to the hardware. And the reality of the situation is, no, you really can't sometimes, because operating systems, and in particular window managers tend to hide or abstract large pieces of the computer away from the programmers, mostly to give them a little bit more convenience and also to sort of more tightly control the access. So it's basically the idea is to keep programs from running hog wild on the system and, you know, doing whatever they want to do. They sort of have to go through a gatekeeper, you know what I mean? So what that means, though, is if we talk about, for instance, Windows, first of all, Microsoft Windows is a window manager. It's essentially it is what you would think it would be if you're talking about window manager. It is the guy that manages all of your open windows and all your open tasks and makes sure that everything is sort of, at least as much as it possibly can, working properly and communicating properly with everything. It is basically a messaging slash what we call interprocess helper or communicator, kind of. It's facilitating all the interprocess communications that have to happen between the various things running on your computer. It is the thing that makes your computer multitasking. Back in the good old DOS days, your computer running in DOS was basically single-threaded. So there's only one program running at any one given time, and that was it. Not so much the case, well, not the case at all in, say, Linux or Unix operating systems. There, the entire operating system from the ground up is a multi-threaded, I wouldn't say well, it is multi-threaded, but it's also, it's a multi, what's the term I'm trying to use here? It's a, here's where all my English fails me, because I'm trying to think of three things at once here, trying to focus on a couple things at once here. It's a proper multi-processing kernel that, you know, does all the necessary communications to allow for multiple processes to have access and time slices and all that fun stuff. I don't want to get too technical on it, but let's just say, let's just sort of sum it up in the most layman terms I can figure out here. Your CPU in your computer, the thing that is doing all the work and all the hard labor, intensive labor, for the most part, is single-threaded, right? I mean, there are optimizations that have been made to sort of do this sort of pipelining thing where it can kind of run multiple instructions at once. Well, it seems to run multiple instructions at once. It doesn't really do it. But the reality of the situation is your CPU runs one instruction at a time, and that's that. And like I said, there's been optimizations to more modern PC or more modern CPUs that allow them to do this, what's called branch prediction and stuff, where they can actually figure out, hey, I think potentially, based upon how much the program has run so far, that the program's going to branch off and run these sets of commands pretty soon, or as the next set of commands. And so I'm going to go pre-fetch all those commands from the storage and just have them available just in case my theory pans out. And that's the CPU that's talking at that point. And, you know, for long-running programs that are easily predicted, the execution flow is easily predicted, that works out quite nicely and has quite a big performance boost. Now, I thought I saw... Oh, yeah, it's right up there. That is... I'm not even going to try it. Not even going to try it, but I am going to get these. So, what does that... What am I setting you up for here? That's a good question, because I'm thinking that myself, because I feel like I went off on a tangent a bit there. So you got all this multiprocess. Oh, window managers. So window managers are essentially the higher level abstraction of what's going on at that level, at the CPU level. Basically, it's saying, hey, I can only give one program at a time access to the CPU. So, and we want to have multiple programs running at once. So, for instance, if you're, say, playing Minecraft and listening to some music at the same time, well, you've got multiple things running at once. There's actually even more than that running. If you ever open up your process, Windows Process Task Manager Majigger, you'll notice that there's tons and tons of things running, tons and tons of processes running at any given time. Just to keep your computer running smoothly, you know, your real-time clock is running. Your ooh, this is a nice, yet another ravine here. Hey, guy. Oh, you've spawned some more. Okay, you are done for. I know something's gonna drop down on my head here. I just know it. Wow, this ended up being a much larger cave than I thought it would be. On first blush. This is a good technical cave. This would have been a good ooh, where's this guy at? Oh, he's over here. Okay, they walk through the lava. So let me grab all this iron here if I can. Excellent. And we got all kinds of manner of things down here. All manner of mob. Let's see if I can get a better... Alright, well, I guess I'm going to have to make them come to me. Come on, come on. There we go. So your window manager is the guy, is basically the boss. He's basically coordinating all these various programs and just making sure, and processes, and making sure that they all get a slice of the CPU, that they can all keep running and not stall on you, and various other things. So when you think about, say, playing Minecraft and listening to music, well, Minecraft has got to get a slice of your CPU so it can run all the instructions, you know, and process all of your inputs. I did not mean to kill that, but that's all right, I guess. And at the same time, your music player has got to get some time with the CPU so it can go, you know, if you're streaming something online, it's streaming music, it's got to go maintain communication. Where is this guy at? Okay. I'm okay for now, I think. It's got to maintain communications with the remote server, and it's got to do various other tasks like actually no, I was going to say decompress, but it is actually kind of a decompress. It's really a decode the compressed MP3 that's coming over so that it can be played properly and you get the proper notes, and it has to have access to the DSP on your DSP chip of your, or port, I should say, of your sound card, and so on and so forth. Many things like that. And the window manager, in most cases Windows, has to make sure that it gets all the attention that it needs in order to work properly. So that's where Windows as a window manager comes into play with these things. So, all that said, why do we have, if Windows is such a good, and Linux and everything else are so good at managing processes, why do we need programming libraries like OpenGL and DirectX? And the answer is because Windows in particular was is optimized. The task manager is optimized for business purposes, not for gaming purposes. And when you're using it for business purposes, it works just fine because you have what's called a GDI, or graphics device interchange, I believe is the I of that, if I remember correctly. which abstracts out the video card to all the various running programs and says, here you go. You want to draw something to the screen? Here's your little window of the screen that you can draw stuff in, and I'll handle resizing stuff. I'll make sure that if somebody resizes your window, I send a message to your program, which I believe is still WM resize, I believe. If somebody says to maximize, I'll send a WM maximize, and then I'll let you determine how you're supposed to redraw yourself, but I'll at least let you know as the window manager that you need to redraw yourself because somebody's moving you all over the place and doing stuff to you. And if somebody clicks on the X to close you, I'll send a WM close so that you can gracefully exit and do whatever cleanup you need to do, so on and so forth. Someone says to, and the same thing goes if you say shut down, it's supposed to do that, send that message out to all the running applications. The newer versions of Windows, like from Windows, when did they introduce that? They started to introduce it in 2000, but it didn't really pick up until XP and later. They put this sort of polling mechanism in there. So what would happen is Windows knows, hello guy, I see you over there. Yeah, I'm just going to let you blow up because I don't feel like backtracking into this lava here. Windows will, I'm going to kill this lava too, why not? Windows will monitor the applications now, the newer versions of Windows, and wow, those guys just spawn right over there. Just found one little spot to spawn in, and there they are. It'll monitor the running Windows, and it expects that each running application will respond to its messages in a relatively well, I wouldn't say stable, but a relatively quick amount of time. I don't know. I don't remember what exactly it is. But if it doesn't respond, that's when you start getting the not responding message, and then Windows starts to, if it continues to not respond, Windows will start to say, hey, I think this program has crashed. Do you want me to kill it forcibly, and all that fun stuff. So that's sort of how the inner workings of Windows goes, which is not really what I wanted to talk about, but I wanted to sort of give you background of where OpenGL and stuff come into play, which I still haven't done yet because I've been beating around the damn bush here. But that being said, getting back to my original point where Windows in particular was optimized, that window manager was optimized for business purposes, which means that abstracting out all the graphics device and all that stuff works really well when you don't need to do too much in real time. You can have a little bit of lag on your drawing of your window because you're not trying to push, thousands upon thousands of polygons at it, and you don't need a extremely responsive response to every little motion of input, right? And most of the input that you're giving is just single clicks or double clicks, which can have a little bit of a delay in them. There's a lot of thought, what we like to call thought time, where the user's just sitting there kind of reading what's on the screen and trying to think of what to do next, that kind of thing. Whereas in games and stuff, there's not a whole lot of thought time usually because you're too busy to you're too busy just fighting off mobs and reacting to what the game is throwing at you to be able to sit by and idly and think about things. So that being said, that was just a long-winded way of me saying that the Windows GDI does not perform well enough for games, and Microsoft realized this early on. So the answer Microsoft came up with was DirectX. I don't remember if OpenGL was the first one or the second one to the game or not. I honestly don't remember, and at this point it kind of doesn't matter because Windows became so popular and so default, I guess, with computers that and gaming in particular, that OpenGL sort of fell out of wide use because DirectX, at first it was used widely because it was superior to DirectX. And there are still some pieces of it that are superior to DirectX as far as performance goes. But over the years, that has sort of diminished, and on top of that, Microsoft has pushed heavily for adoption of DirectX to the point where they've thrown it in um, all of their programming languages and everything else. All the .NET stuff has just native support for DirectX and all that fun stuff. And most video game developers write in some form of .NET. There's various libraries out there, various forms of it that they use. So that's why DirectX really became the most popular, because Windows was the most popular for games, and Microsoft was able to push forward with it. So what the advantage over regular Windows GDI programming was for OpenGL for games is that, as I said, the performance was much better in DirectX and OpenGL, mostly because it gives you direct access to, as a programmer, to the hardware. I mean, basically, instead of going through this abstract interface, and it does abstract it still a little bit, but not to the extent that the Windows GDI does. It gets you much closer to the metal, to the bare hardware than the Windows GDI does, which allows you then to get the most optimal performance you can possibly get out of said hardware, because you don't have a abstraction in a way that is not built for your performance needs in mind. It was built for the performance needs of a business, right, and not of a gamer. So all of that was my long-winded, long-about way to give you sort of a background behind what OpenGL and DirectX actually are. Now, Minecraft is written in OpenGL mostly because, as far as I know, I haven't done much looking, but as far as I know, it is the only library that has a Java wrapper for it, and that's mostly because Java is meant to be cross-platform, and it largely is. And it would not make sense to make a wrapper in Java around DirectX, because you can only use DirectX on a Windows machine. So that would kind of defeats the purpose of it, of the whole cross-platform thing, or multi-platform thing. So Minecraft itself, I believe, is written against the LWJGL, which is the lightweight Java game programming language. LWJGP, so LWJG, yeah, something like that. lightweight Java game programming library, I believe, is the name of the library that they use. And that library contains Jogl, the Jogl library, JOGL, which is just a thin Java wrapper around the bare DirectX, or I'm sorry, the bare OpenGL DLLs, or dynamic link libraries, that Windows uses. So when people complain about the graphics performance in Minecraft, and oh my god, I can't believe they wrote it in Java and all that stuff, it's not, this Java is really slow. It's like they really, this is why I complain that they don't know what they're talking about, because honestly, they're using a thin wrapper around OpenGL. So if it's slow, it's because they're not programming it correctly, not because of the language. It's very rarely is it the language. It's almost always the programmer. And I mean, for crying out loud, you're using the baseline OpenGL drivers. So it's entirely possible that the hardware you're using doesn't really support OpenGL very well, although that is rare and few between, but it's still possible. There was that time. Oh man, there is. Is that 3 witches? Seriously? Are there 3 witches over there? Ooh, this guy sees me. Okay. No thank you. You can stay right over there. I do not want what you are selling. Oh, you bastard. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, yes, that is 3 witches. That indeed is 3 witches. Okay. That is really unlucky for me. Anyway, while this poison wears off, and the slowness wears off, man, he hit me pretty good too. So that gives you sort of background on OpenGL. Minecraft took, I guess, the easy way out as far as programming for OpenGL. And it does what we call immediate, or well, it's immediate mode. I was going to say direct mode, but it's basically those 2 terms are usually synonymous when it comes to programming in general. When you hear programmers talk about immediate mode, they basically mean that you have direct control. You're basically streaming commands directly to the hardware or to whatever is the destination of that immediate mode. Gotta eat something here. Heal up a little bit. Because Minecraft is coded in immediate mode, it suffers from performance degradation. Because what you're doing is you're basically saying, when you take direct control of hardware, you're basically saying, hey, hardware, I know that you can do this better than me, but I'm not going to let you. I'm just going to stream stuff at you, and you cannot optimize it in any way possible. You just have to take the commands as I give them to you. You're going to have to wait for them. You're going to have to, if I'm slowing down, you're going to have to slow down with me, so on and so forth. Like the hardware can't do any optimizations for you at that point. It's like, you know what? You got control, dude. You think you know better than me? Go ahead and do it. And as a result, Minecraft suffers rather greatly when it comes to the rendering of scenes in here. Hey, are these guys still up here? Or did they despawn? That would be... Nope, he's still up there. He's like, hey, guy. You thought I left, didn't you? Oh, wow, he just... That bat doesn't know what the hell hit it. Oh, that's hilarious. He's like, hey, you see this bat here? This is what I'm going to do to you. Oh. Yeah, I'm still within range of him, apparently. Oh, he still managed to get me, that little bastard. Oh, I don't have a bow on me or anything. This guy is just going to drive me insane. I'll just grab this real fast. Nope. Can't grab it at all. Can't grab it at all. Run over here and grab it. There we go. Oh, that was a potion of harming. Damn, man. Damn. Oh, so we're kind of just stuck here right now. I wish I had brought a bow with me now. This kind of sucks. Anyway. So what are VBOs then? VBOs are what are called vertex buffer objects. And it's a way for programs that are running in immediate mode, like Minecraft, to offload some of the processing to the graphics card and get some of the benefits of the non-immediate mode, which I forget the... I looked it up too before I start talking here because I always forget the name of it, but it's like... it's not managed mode, but it's like... It begins with an R, and I can't remember the name of it. The name always escapes me, but it's a mode opposite. It's a mode that is not immediate mode. And it's the mode that most games try to actually run in, because you're basically giving the graphics card full range of abilities to figure out how it wants to work for you, how it can make your life better as the programmer. And so VBOs are basically, it's a way to... There, finally got rid of that damn guy. Okay, good. Finally got rid of that guy. Man, oh man. Vertex buffer objects allow you to... Now there's... Okay. The other guys despawn. I hope they did. They allow you to offload some of the graphics processing. Oh, geez Louise. Where did this guy come from? Hey there. To the GPU and get some of the benefits of having the hardware actually do what it's best at, namely keeping things loaded in memory for you and retrieving stuff for you. So, in other words, even though Minecraft continues to send, GL begin, GL end, and GL draw, vertex 3L and all 3F, and all that stuff. Man, it's been a long time since I've since I've coded anything in that. That was my college days right there. Just talking. It will ahead of time when you turn VBOs on. You're basically telling Minecraft. Minecraft can then set up the scene in a vertex buffer object and just pass that off to the hardware and just keep, and it's basically just a memory reference, right? It's just like, hey, you're telling the hardware, I'm going to keep writing data to this address in memory, and you do what you do best. You figure out what I'm using and what I'm not using, and you keep it refreshed for me and all that fun stuff, and then I don't have to keep loading it every time I need it, right? And basically you're offloading a lot of the work now that was basically on the CPU. You're offloading to the GPU now, which is much better at keeping that stuff around. You're in essence getting usually a good performance boost, so like 10 to 20 frames per second usually when you turn those on. But the reason they have it turned off by default is because you still have to have a graphics card that is decent. Decent enough to use it. And by that I mean you gotta have, it uses up memory. So if you've got, say, I don't know, 8 gigs of memory on your card, the more memory you have on there, the better off you are, the more performance you'll probably get from it. But if you have less than a certain amount, it's probably going to end up being disabled anyway, even if you turn it on, because you don't have enough memory to store all those data structures for a long period of time, and so you're not really going to get the benefits of it. Minecraft will still have to load things up from time to time from disk instead of having them already available in memory. Which, by the way, the reason it's such a big deal that they have things loaded in memory is because even with SSDs, there's a cost associated with loading things from disk. Now, with the old platter magnetic disks, there's a seek time where it has to actually find the right disk. It has to find the data on the disk. It has to go load it up and all that stuff. You don't have that necessarily with an SSD card because it's not, you don't have platter spinning. But you do have to go through the controller, through the hard drive controller, through the SATA controller, or the SCSI controller if you're rocking it old school. So it's so you're still getting a performance hit there because it's got to load through that. Whereas main memory has almost a direct pipeline to the CPU, so it doesn't have to. So the use your words, memory. Use your words. With the pipeline being so direct, the performance gain is rather large because you don't have that hit at going through another controller for things. You still have the speed of the memory to take into account, which is why memory now has and RAM now has a speed associated with it. But that is usually so quick now that it's almost a negligible factor anymore. Might as well. Guess I can take that. Why not? What else did I take? I feel like I picked something else up. So that is that was a very long-winded explanation. How long was it? Oh, 35 minutes. That was actually the right size of explanation, I guess. Of what a VPO is and how it affects you, and I guess the best way to know whether or not it's going to do you any good is to turn it on and see what happens. If Minecraft will let you turn on. I believe it was added in one of the snapshots, and I only noticed it when I was looking the other day here at my settings. So that is rather cool. And how much iron did I get out of this? Stack, 2 stacks, almost 3 stacks. Ooh, if I could make 3 full stacks of iron, that would be rather awesome. Is it possible? Is it possible for me to find more iron? Ooh, it's possible for me to find my death if I don't get some torches up in here. There we go. Just get a couple right now. So yeah, that is a thing. That is a thing. So that's basically my technical caving, which ended up taking up more of the episode than I thought it would, which is good, because I thought I was going to have to talk about other things, which I probably am going to have to talk about other things if I can't find any iron within the next 2 or 3 minutes here. What was that? Am I seeing shadows now? I might be seeing iron shadows. I'm going crazy. I'm seeing iron shadows. Yeah, okay. Ooh, over here. Over here is some dark areas. Have I gone down there? Oh, I see some down there. Alright, there we go. I have not gone this way yet, apparently. Yep. Cool. Ooh, and there's some more lapis over there too. Actually, I better consolidate some of my lapis as it is. I noticed I had 2 stacks of it going here. Cool. I have all this iron, and I have all this redstone, man. That's just gonna. I've got redstone and I got coal out the wazoo, but it's the best way right now for me to get levels without sitting in front of a grinder. Although I will have to sit in front of a grinder at some point here. But I have been working on stuff around Middle Earth there. We've got, I've been working on the walls. That's the other reason why I haven't really, I didn't really want to do an episode there, because that's all I've really been doing is the walls. And I want to, I'm hoping to get some more time to actually do some of the revamping of the redstone around my area that I want to do. I've decided that I want to. Ooh, that's going to be a problem. I decided that I want to make my storage area into a multi-level storage area, so I don't have to walk back and forth so much for things. Which means I need, again, more hoppers. And also, I need, in addition to all the hoppers, I need, well, there's some more cave over there, it looks like, if I can get up here. I swear these mobs are spawning right on top of torches anymore. Oh, that is a skelly. Hey, Skelly, don't knock me off of here. Thank you. Oh, there's another one. Hey, guy. Got a little bit of that to the face. And I don't have any torches. Let's make some torches real fast. There we go. Throw that out for a second here. Grab this. Very good. Panicking slightly. I don't need that bone. Thank you very much. I do want that wood back. Cool. Cool. So yeah, I've been working on that stuff. I need more time to get more progress on the storage system and getting that worked out the way I want it to be. And also, I am going to work, or try to work a little bit on the smeltery and getting that looking... Oh, all right, so we can get rid of some of this cobblestone now, because we need the iron more than we need the cobblestone at this point. Although, with the walls being the way they are, cobblestone is also a thing that is useful to me. And I am seriously considering actually having it where when I'm down in the mine I can send stuff up to be smelted. Seriously considering to the point where I think I might actually do that. So the next episode I think might be a redstone episode. We'll see. I might just turn it into a building episode. I'm not sure. It really depends on how much I can get done off camera, because there's a lot of planning I need to do. There's a lot of digging, basically. That's what I found about all this redstone stuff. As much as I thought, oh, it's going to be a lot of collecting redstone and all the resources to make, you know, hoppers and all that stuff. That is a big part of it, but another big part of it is lots and lots of digging. Lots and lots of digging. Especially when you're trying to hook things up to mine shafts and everything else. So that is what is in store for that. Ooh, I have a ton of coal apparently. Let's see if we can combine a little bit of this. Very good. Excellente. All right, and let's throw a torch down here. Somebody's going to come through this mine, through this cave at some point and wonder who the hell's been around here. Oh, this cave is far more extensive. I started looking at the cave from above. I was, you know, walked into the cave and I was like, oh, I see this is branching off in a couple different directions. So maybe this will be a good cave to do a caving episode with. I had no idea how right I would be with that, because this has been a venerable gold mine, and I've got over 3 stacks of iron now, which is my main goal for being here. So I think that will just about do it for this episode on LiveCraftMine. I'm hoping that now that a lot of guys are... I'm hoping now that college is starting back up again, we'll start to see some more activity on the server, because I am feeling a bit lonely. just a bit lonely. I have a feeling that was mostly due to just everybody's on vacation and everybody's just really busy with the summer and all that stuff. And then once they go back to college and realize how much they hate their life, they'll be back on Minecraft. I don't want to say that, because honestly, even though I did not enjoy college at all, that was mostly because I didn't really I didn't feel like I really needed college. I just went because it was the only way to get into my career, get the fast track in my career, rather than spending many years trying to get equivalent experience in other fields. And you know, I just wanted to get a head start, and it did. It worked out for me. It's just, you know, I those 4 years of my life were just absolute hell. I mean, just from a scheduling perspective and everything, like I was working part-time, and then I was, you know, I was going to college full-time, and I had like courses at nighttime that were once a week for like 3 hours, and then I had courses during the day at random times of the day, and I was going back and forth from college to work sometimes, and sometimes back and forth twice to both of them, which thankfully my boss was very, very understanding when it came to that. So, because I was very upfront about it. I was like, look, I'm a full-time student, so I might have to work some really crazy hours. And he's like, okay, whatever. I've been there, done that. Knock yourself out. And I very nearly did. So there was that. Oh, so much lapis, so many resources. I have ended this episode about 4 times now. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. And I will see you guys next time.